not going to let you hide. He wants to try and bring down a Force, but a Force ends ground. And Champ pulls Spear back in the base after her Force gets a double kill. Leap on the way! The leap on the swap on the leap!
Butchering Brax, phase shift dodges it, but to what end? They've done no damage. Now their song's down, and Fnatic are going to move on here.
Both goes, they want to signal the tree line. Denny going to phase shift, and then when the achievements come, they're going to jump in. Koro! Big stun, double stun, feed could cancel, black hole, won't go. He actually gets two. KYX right up higher, locked in position. A Force with a double kill. Mushi, almost dead, and is dead. Mushi down, and SK will buy back, and GG! Navi! Are you ready? Welcome everybody back to your MLG TKO coverage. I'm TobiWan.
And I'm the Capitalist.
After our short intermission, a beverage was gained, some things were shaved, and we come back here for our final games of Fnatic. There's, I'm glad you actually also like visually did that. I realized just putting that by itself was actually quite bad.
Yeah, I think my short hair probably isn't that noticeable when I get a haircut. So.
Yeah, because he's a Marine. He's a Marine. Used to be a Marine.
I just can't stand the long hair. I'm sure I'll get back into it eventually, but for now, it's just the long hair. It feels gross. Just like I gotta keep the sides shaved. Gotta keep it nice. You're not in the L'Oreal commercial, Toby. I'm sorry. You're red haired. It's not gonna work. Your flowing beard locks.
On that thought, let's go to the game.
Like there aren't enough gifts. Like there isn't a certain image out there, Toby.
Hey.
You don't need to add more to that.
It's just sharing the love.
For more, for the image that we're talking about, be sure to go check out TobiWan's Facebook.
Yeah, because all the greatest people follow me on Facebook at TobiWan Dota. It's the greatest people.
Toby literally leads at least one conversation every single day with, hey, did you see my Facebook?
Well, that's interesting.
And I'm like, no, Toby, I see you every single day. I don't need to look at your Facebook.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everyone's got to look, man. Everyone's got to look.
I guess so.
Let's actually look at our game right now. So Fnatic versus RoX is our matchup of the evening. Now, we already had one game early tonight for RoX. Their matchup against Team Empire is one of the most complicated matchups we could have ever scheduled. It's actually happening at 3 different times, which was never the original plan for it, but it's just because of scheduling, and we're the nice guys.
Hey, no one can say we're inflexible about times when we're willing to separate a 3-game series like that.
We understand the perils that is a team schedule. But right now, though, we do have RoX in a rather bad position. They're sitting at 0-1. The upside is the fact that when Fnatic played up against Team Empire, Fnatic lost 2 of their games. So in order for Fnatic to qualify themselves through, they basically have to win all 3 games, hands down. Like, that's a guaranteed qualification, which means the next 2 games that happen between Team Empire and RoX will not matter. That's what they need. But at the same time, actually, I should also say, too, that if Fnatic end up actually winning all 3 games straight, it'll actually mean a lot for Team Empire, what happens between themselves and RoX, because then we'll have bonus point advantage. Who would actually have it and who does not.
Right. There's a possibility that Fnatic could upset the whole entire thing and take first, I believe. No matter what Team Empire have claimed a spot, it's just up to basically RoX whether or not they can take all games up against Fnatic, and they'll be in a good position to be able to take that second slot. Or if they lose 2 of their games, I think they're pretty much out. So they need to win.
If you have 4 losses, you're basically removed straight away.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose 2 games up against Fnatic knowing you still have 2 more games up against Empire.
Yeah. The reason why I say 4 losses is because, like, I know Team Liquid ended up going 2 for 4, but that's because EG was 6 for 0, which just completely imbalanced the group.
Yeah, exactly.
EG.
And they also did not have that extra point to their name, which Fnatic do.
Yeah.
So.
That is true. That's true. Fnatic have the 2 bonus points coming to their name. So right now, let's get to our draft, man. Ember Spirit, second time tonight, we'll get to see him. And in combination, with a Darkseer and a very early Darkseer pickup as well.
You know what this means, well, you don't know what this means.
No,
but you know what this could mean, right?
It could be our Naga Siren Enigma combination. No, yeah,
you got to include
Disruptor.
Disruptor is the combo with Darkseer because the Enigma is like a bonus, but the Naga Siren into the Darkseer vacuum into the Static Storm Kinetic Field combos is what Fnatic were running primarily. But I mean, this is different though because we can't see. I mean, we could, I guess, see a Naga Siren still, but you already got an Ember Spirit who traditionally fulfills the mid role. That's not to say he wouldn't be strong in the vacuum group up. I mean, if you go Battle Fury early on,
not to mention
all the more benefit for people to be grouped up in a tight corner like that.
Not to mention you give Ember Spirit that Iron Shell on top of him too, so like you get the double burn off.
Yeah, that's also true.
I don't know if that actually works when he's fisting though. Would you be there long enough for the damage to actually tick out?
It's possible that you might actually do like an extra 1 or 2 damage, or 5, maybe 10 damage. But
we're talking about actual like 5 actual points of damage.
I mean, you're only there for like quarter of a second. So and that Ion Shell is like it does work in very small increments. So I don't know. It's a possibility.
Never tested. Just trying to think about it.
Yeah.
Fnatic come up with the Enchantress, so we won't see the Enigma inside the jungle, so we're not looking for the extra combo there. And maybe we do see the Disruptor. With this kind of combo, I think Fnatic is realizing that if they try and just go for their wombo combo, it won't be enough. This is a rack game. You got a Nature's Prophet and a Luna and Invoker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is a rack game right now. So prepare yourself for at least 40 minutes of this game, because Nature's Prophet's going to lay this one up. And Ember Spear as well as Darkseer as well could do exactly the same kind of thing.
This is why I've been kind of surprised that we haven't seen Keeper of the Light in the meta pretty much at all, because so many different strategies rely on minions. I mean, think about the return of Lycan. The return of Lycan, Drow Ranger coming into the fold as well as a popular carry. Like all those heroes, and Luna especially is a carry who has been consistently picked up, is always good when you mix it with minions, because then you start getting in that extra bit of damage. For Luna here, it's going to be just good crowd cover for Luna to sit behind those minions just to be able to tank up the tower, and then you got Luna and the rest of the heroes beating on that tower. Minions are a very key part to a lot of these They have late game, but they also have a lot of early push potential. And this is an example where you're going to have a possibility of an Exort Invoker who summons Forge Spirits, and then you've got the Treants coming into play, and then you've got Luna giving these 2 different ratios their extra attack damage as well.
Yeah.
Towers are going to fall real quickly if Fnatic don't have good enough team fight. Now they're going to fall even faster. Shadow Shaman being picked up.
Yeah, this is almost like a coddle game right now. Bring him in. Illuminate spam, and the towers will never ever get pushed.
But at the same time, Coddle is not very strong versus Shadow Shaman. And I think Fnatic right now, what they have with you don't pick up Darkseer this early without a reason, and that reason has got to be team fight. There are very few reasons why you pick up a Darkseer right now in this meta. Primarily, it's because of your vacuum. It's
they don't have a team fight combo hero though.
Well, like, they don't yet.
But even if you pick up something like a Naga to help you set up, or like Disruptor to a point will be able to help you, but you got 2 heroes, almost 3 heroes that are happy to go into a BKB. Maybe not Invoker as happy as them all. But your Nature's Prophet and Luna can accept going into BKBs. And then Fnatic will have no control. And Disruptor won't find the space or the time to farm up into an Aghanim Scepter this early on. So yeah, I'm actually more down with this from Fnatic being a lot more aggressive. We go Enchantress, Shadow Demon, which means it's roaming, it's ganking, and it's high level of control coming out from these 2, which allow the rest of the team of Fnatic to start killing off. And this means too, like that Ember Spirit can be mid-solo. It doesn't have to be Era up on that top lane. They could find actually something else to go nicely up against that Nature's Prophet. But this allows Fnatic to be a lot more aggressive early on and stop RoX from pushing just based on the fear of their lanes.
Yeah, because you're right. Their basic opening is going to be in the laning phase, because looking at it right now, Invoker, he's a hero that usually stays in the meta lane, doesn't do a whole lot of movement outside of it. Luna's going to be focused on her early farm, needs to get that BKB, because you're right, once BKBs start coming up, Fnatic are going to lose out on a lot here, and then they have to start going into the late game, where Ember Spirit and his physical damage will start showing up. But RoX here, they've got a lot of mid-game push, but I think Fnatic here with the right aggressive mid-game oriented carry, they can fight RoX in some of these early tier 1 towers.
I'm just watching the Doom ban out.
Yeah, it's an interesting... I mean...
It's not for a direct counter. It's not for a direct counter. Like, they're missing one last support hero. The Chen was actually probably going to be their choice here, because that would still allow them to have the extra strength to force down towers.
Right.
But the Doom pickup, I think, might be because of RoX fearing the Fnatic just stall the game up a little bit more. And the 3 cores become very, very strong early on, would be possibly their major concern, because they may not be looking for a lineup that wants to roam gank. Which means Godblack's in a bit of position, a rough position for their last one. And he goes for something which is very classic Godblack. The Abaddon pickup. This is protection underneath towers.
Yeah, he loves this hero a lot, and I love it a lot too. I love watching it, mainly because a strong Abaddon, I think, is one of the best supports going into past like 15 minutes. He can be one of the strongest supports, mainly because of Fnatic Shield being able to go through disables. So it's if you just have the right positioning as an Abaddon to be able to clear your carry of those disables, give them time to turn on their BKBs and turn and fight. You know, those sort of situations, the heal's very strong. So Fnatic do continue to go here for this early aggression.
I love it.
And this is going to be a farming Kunkka that this is actually pretty typical of the meta right now, where we have a earlier game hero being in the 1 position, and your mid actually being more of your late game carry. So Kunkka is going to be that farmer in the beginning. He'll provide a lot of mid-game impact. So will the Ember Spirit, but going into late game, it's really going to rely on the Ember Spirit because he has that more consistent damage. Sleight of Fist lower cooldown than that Tidebringer. Your Tidebringer going into late game is just like, well, I hope I get a crit, guys. If not, well, I guess we lose.
Well, so we got crit, we got fisting. Well, even if I don't get my crit, we've still got the fist, and then we have an Iron Shell. No one's ever going to get up the hill. Like, there's going to be a major problem here for RoX, in fact. Like, not even just, like, into the later portion of the game. In the early portion, you got 4 points up in that Tidebringer. Just breaching the high ground is going to be a massive, massive problem for RoX. And I'm actually really concerned about their lineup right now.
Prepare for battle.
I'm not 100% sure just how effective it's all going to be, because, okay, is Era... this is what I was waiting to see. I want to see if Hani would, in fact, go top or mid. And the main reason why I was going to ask that question was because Hani has an Ember Spirit up on the top lane. He'll be very, very happy. It'll be quick farm. He's not looking for extra control. And Era, we know that they like to run that combination of the dual lane in the mid.
Dual lane's always strong versus an Invoker, too.
Oh, yeah. Because you know you're able to catch out the Invoker. Like, Mr. If he even thinks about going Exort, which looks like Solo has already thought about it and done it, he's got Exort in this middle. If they get like an Invis route or something like that, Disruption into a Torrent, and you've got just one other hero that's able to help you out, and Enchantress with an early creep, you've already got Smoke over on No Tail. The potential for killing right now from Fnatic is insanely high. It reminds me all the time I see Enchantress ST combinations. It just reminds me of what the older LGD International team used to do in China. Like this never-ending aggression that just stuck on top of everybody. And you feared for it. Like, the lanes were so locked down, your supports wouldn't rotate around, which means then the cores of the aggressive team just had all the space in the world to free farm and transition beautifully into the mid game.
The battle begins.
At the same time, though, RoX, once they realize it's going to be a dual lane, I think they're still going to be fine because then they can just rotate the Abaddon into the middle lane and just run dual lanes against dual lanes. I think they're fine with that because then you have a Shadow Shaman getting the full experience at this bottom lane and not having to share it with another support so he can do pulls and get the full experience out, get a faster level 6. Abaddon may be a little underleveled, and your Invoker is going to be suffering from experience because of the Abaddon leeching experience. But at the same time, it's better than having to deal with this constant pressure of a kill lane.
Here you go. Disruption. Torrent. This time around, though, not quick enough.
No, not quick enough at all. And at top, Hani is going to be going up against the Furion. And while I agree that Hani is going to be pretty happy with the farm he's going to be getting there, and especially the early levels, at the same time, this constant physical damage harassment can put Ember's Spirit a little low, and that's why you see they fed him so much extra regen.
Yeah, and now he's also able to finish with the poor man's shield.
Yeah.
The other part of his plan up here in the top lane, because once you're able to block up that damage consistently, then the regeneration will do its work, and then you'll transition to his next items. I'm also watching this bottom lane where Trixie and Yol are battling it out. Yol's been having these shackles for a while, and both Yol as well as BZZ, they combine up quite nicely for a kill. While up on top lane, smoke gank time. So we've got a Troll Trap and a Centaur, and Seedoy, he's trying to run away already. Now, you already go for the chains, Troll Trap to follow up, Centaur into the stomp, and this will be the death of Seedoy. Fnatic, they've already won, spoiler alert, the Captain's Draft tournament today, and they want to make sure they can secure themselves a grand final for the MLG TKO. Off to a good start.
Yeah, they were looking pretty rough, I would say about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Fnatic, I think, were in a bit of a rough patch, but they've been looking a lot better the last few days, and hopefully they can continue this run. We can have a pretty strong series here, but Godblack is now making that rotation into the middle lane. I was surprised he wasn't sitting there just from the very beginning, but this lane doesn't have true kill potential until like level 2, level 3, I would say, until both of them have their level 2 nukes on the Shadow Demon as well as the Kunkka, so it wasn't necessary right away, but now Godblack's going to be joining him. Just to ensure a little bit of safety eventually, though. With
an SD, with an Invis rune, Fly knows exactly what's happening here in this middle lane. They need a little bit more space here on solo. The Tidebringer is also still on cooldown, so they want to make sure they get this at the right time.
He may know, but what can he really do about it?
Well, right now, I'd say the best thing that Fnatic could do about it is just go on Godblack. That'll be the best thing they could do. But now they're actually out. It's out far enough. Catcher, Disruption, as well as the Satyr Blast, the Torrent to follow up, and then the Shield. This is the problem. While Godblack was there, they can't get the kill. That's why I was like, you got to go on Godblack, not on solo here.
Yeah, and he was just sitting way too far back, so they went ahead and did the only thing they could do and put some damage on solo. And this dual lane turned out well for RoX. And it's only going to get worse as we start getting those higher levels of Forge Spirits. It's practically a 3v2 because Forge Spirits are just so strong early on in the laning phase that they're going to be able to harass that Shadow Demon. And so while you may have a melee support on your side with the Invoker, you get that extra Forge Spirit in lane, and it makes all the difference.
Trixie's having a wander back down to bottom lane. Hasn't really found that many levels. He spent most of his time just brawling with Yol. And you're already seeing the movement coming in, the shackles. The Lucent Beam also helping out with the early damage, so you'll be able to get the cooldown off in a moment. But there's no point up in Surge. So Trixie hoping gets himself denied after the Satis, but no joy for him at all. And
he
we
just
go
wants
1-1.
level 2, Toby. That's all he wants. That's all a Darkseer really wants, is just to be able to have that Surge, that getaway mechanism, and just never to be found.
No. No-Tail's looking to go for another gank though. Look his positioning. He's got an Alpha Wolf in tow, and he's up on the high ground, and now Seedoy walks into him, and the Collapse already gone out. There's not enough damage. The Torrent! Oh. It was only a second too late there from Era. Wise choice of Seedoy just to run himself away. If he stopped to sprout and run himself away, dead.
That being said, Hani is actually not quite as much CS as I would have expected. I would have thought this would have been a free lane after their first blood gank, but he is a little bit behind the Luna. He's picked it up in just the last 5 seconds I've been talking about it. But now he has his phase boots. That's a lot more lane control now. Up against the Furion, who's only going to have brown boots. For that short period of time while you're waiting for Seedoy to get phase boots, Hani has a huge advantage and can get really aggressive, especially since he just picked up Remnants.
Yeah, and you see how it's actually helping out. His team is helping him out. They put the Alpha Wolf up onto the top lane.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're having trouble with last hits, or if your timing's not feeling 100% right, No-Tail just pushes the Alpha Wolf in, and then all of a sudden Honey's having a lot easier of a time. That Alpha Wolf, of course, though, was timed out, but they forced the fortification because they pushed the creep wave in so far. With the catapult behind it too, they had to use fortification. A nice Centaur stomps this. They're just slowing down the trees, converting the full health tree as well. The trees turn against their master.
Yeah, any sort of extra pushing power, why not? So tier 1 is going to go down. Seedoy going to try for the deny here, but knows Hani exactly. He's got that phase boot advantage.
Well, he was able to get the quick lockdown, the chains, but with Godblack giving him the extra heal immunity while in middle lane. Disruption, Catcher, Torrent again. The culmination working beautifully on solo with no points up in Wex. He's going to go down here. Trying trying to get one last Sunstrike off the Era if he was going to have to overextend himself.
Good communication. The moment they see Godblack top, they say go on middle immediately because now that Invoker is open for the kill. There's nothing there to be able to defend him. So Fnatic actually do make this dual lane work out after I thought they weren't going to see a single lane.
They're running into mid. They want Godblack dead. All 5 heroes from Fnatic are converging on mid. And now Godblack and Solo are here, but Hani's already found Godblack. Now he's going to start off already just burning him down. And who's he want? Solo, the Chains, rather interesting position. They're not really hitting anybody. Same with the Torrent. But they've got this Iron Shell over on Era, which is burning through Solo as they just tweak over the aggro and almost a full surround with the Disruption Illusions and the other heroes from Fnatic. Man, this has just turned into, what is this, Korean Dota? 6 minutes in, and we go 5-man down the mid.
Oh yeah, RoX KIS, they're beginning to respond though.
This is not a wise thing to do when you shock up through the tree line like that. Especially when Ember Spirit already has his ultimate up and running. They could have just ballsed into that. And Luna's not ready to fight. He's going hand of Midas. He needs more time.
Yeah, all of the heroes on RoX KIS need more time. And this is why I thought Fnatic were going to go for so much early team fight, is because they see this advantage where Luna's still squishy before BKB, before you have actually even a real amount of damage. Invoker needs time. Furion is not an early team fighter. You have your ultimate, which can surprise people, but for the most part, you are not a strong team fighter. So everything else, I mean, the supports, Shadow Shaman, really underleveled, needs to be able to have wards before he's a contributing factor.
Era's in trouble. Shackle's going to be coming in this mid lane, and they've still got the nukage available. Yeah, Fly's going to disrupt up his own teammate, which means at least he'll evade the Prophet ultimate. He will not be able to evade both the Shock and the Sunstrike. Coming out from the rest of RoX KIS.
Yeah, he could have saved him a lot more damage, though I think he would have been dead no matter what. He could have disrupted his ally a lot earlier in order to stop that Shackles faster, but either way, I think he was still going to be dead. Because the Sunstrike probably still would have landed and everything else following up.
We got smoke movement coming out from Fly and No-Tell again. This time they're looking towards bottom lane with the newly spawned up hero Era. He'll probably just TP himself to that bottom.
Enchantress is such a great hero to gank up Luna's because you can tank up that Eclipse.
Boom. Disruption. And then in with a catch-up. Torrent timing was perfect again. And that's the bottom lane. Toast. A very quick kill over on Luna. And with the Undead Army, they can force out this Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. You're already seeing the pings coming out saying, yo guys, hold the creep wave back around this point, bring it down, and that means they get a full life point creep wave for the Dire side forcing into that Tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and at this point in time, RoX KIS, I think it was a big mistake. Luna and Shadow Shaman making that rotation into the middle lane.
Top lane, a quick fist into a chain, and then you've got that Iron Shell damage. Okay, there's actually quite a lot of burn damage coming out with Iron Shell, as well as the
maxed out
immolation.
Guard.
Yeah. So I can't help but think of it as immolation. Warcraft 3 boy. Sorry. That's habit. So
that's 150 damage a second.
Just by 2 seconds,
2 seconds of standing next to a person, you've done a full magical damage nuke.
At this point, I would have said it's a great thing they don't have any like melee heroes on the lineup from RoX KIS, apart from like Abaddon. But it's actually probably a worse thing, because then you've got squishy heroes like Shadow Shaman, Nature's Prophet, Luna, Invoker. All of these heroes, if you get in close, your damage is ridiculous. If it was like a Centaur, he might be like, well, I've got return, I got strength, I can stay alive through all of this.
Yeah, and imagine once Ember Spirit has real damage to his Sleight of Fist, you combine the Battle Fury splash with a vacuum as well. That is just so much huge potential of damage, because that's always the biggest thing about an Ember Spirit is you need to stay split up when you're going up against him, because otherwise you get that extra damage from Battle Fury splashes. And that's the worst possible thing you can do. Especially Illusion heroes have a terrible time versus Ember Spirit for that exact reason, because Nagasire, Terrorblade, those heroes, when they spawn their Illusions, it's just an extra hero, and it's an extra unit for the Ember Spirit to hit to get the splash on the original.
Dude, this is... I wasn't expecting this kind of early game. Coming into this, looking at the lineup from RoX KIS, when you pick up something like a Prophet, a Shadow Shaman, as well as a Luna, you're looking to be the ones to initiate. You're looking to be the ones that force down towers. You're not looking to be the ones that lose a hero up on top lane. Like, chickens are burning Shadow Shaman right now, and he's still in range, so he's still getting burnt down by that Flame Guard of Hani. He just doesn't care. No. A Shadow Shaman can't stay that close, which means Shadow Shaman, like, this is already now, that's actually his first death to his name. But the Blink Dagger's going to be a long way off. Cedo is now going to lose his life too, which means disrupt initiation time for him is well off even further when he gets crushed by the boat. And I'm seeing Abaddon even losing more life, and that's up top lane again. It's Hani and No-Tail forcing it out. It really just feels like RoX are being poked and prodded like an unwilling patient.
Yeah, earlier I was talking about Shadow Shaman's rotation to mid. They need that ultimate up for him. They need to be able to split push. They need to be able to, like, 5-man down middle when Fnatic were taking those tier 1s. That way they can make some trades, but without Serpent Wards, it's just not possible. Luna Aura is not going to be enough this early for you to take those towers faster than Fnatic are with all their aggression.
Oh, Prophet.
Oh, not again.
He just TP'd in underneath the Observer Ward, which means Era is just waiting for the right time. Now, there's a couple of trees around the side, which will spot him. And if Era walks anywhere past this line, he's visible. That's the vision line right now. So he's just keeping his distance and searching for Cedo when he shows himself again.
Oh, Hotties.
He was
thinking about it. He was really thinking about it. He just picked up his drum, so he's got that extra stat item. He's got that Ring of Health to build into Battle Fury eventually.
Yep. Trixie just finished mech. We got 12 minutes in, and our Darkseer off lane, who didn't get past level 1 until, what was it, 5-6 minutes? Are they,
I don't know what he's thinking. Fly got a little over-aggressive there, thinking that his 3 stacks of Shadow Poison could really mess up the Luna, but guess what? It doesn't matter when you've got a Goblak sitting behind, ready to throw down that Aphotic Shield, just removes the poison charges entirely.
It might work for Era. Era's got Invis and Iron Shell. So he's coming in looking for an opening, and, well, he's got support. Trixie's going to find Goblak over in the corner. And now Era, well, the Torrent's coming in as well as the X-Mark. Ship's going to fly in, and BZZ never brought his damage to this fight. At the same time, they did lose Trixie, but with Hani just jumping over the top, shows his love for Missy by just picking up his double kill.
Yeah, now clean up some wards as well. That's pretty much a free hero kill there in terms of gold.
Easy monies.
Easy monies in every single hero because they're pushed so far forward. For Fnatic, all the supports are getting in a lot of extra golden experience because they're able to farm up their own lanes. Like Fnatic are able to farm up jungle, farm up the lanes. They're getting a huge gold advantage, not just from kills, but also from all the extra gold that they're pulling out of the map right now. They're 7,500 gold ahead by 13 minutes in.
I was actually hoping to avoid that for a while.
Yeah, I know you were. I know.
Yeah, but you're always the bearer of reality.
I do like the Mask of Madness pick up on Luna. We're going to see it again, man.
We were talking about this earlier today.
Yep.
We were talking about this earlier today, and like if it's really a good choice, and we know because we're talking about Eternal Envy doing it with a Cloud9 match earlier today.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm still concerned about it because if you're ahead, it's fantastic. But if you're not, all you're doing is putting yourself in more harm's way.
I think that if you're behind, it's a desperation pickup. It's a pickup going, I need some sort of game-changing item.
Cedo, he'd be killing pandas. Oh, no, he won't. He missed the timing for it. 1 hit, speed,
2,
speed,
3,
speed.
Got it.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Goodbye, courier.
Fnatic get caught napping. Look at Hani, coming for revenge. Cedo's got 8 seconds. 8 seconds, and then the pause.
Cedo's just hiding, cowering in the corner. Please no, Hani.
Can you see him from here?
I just wanted free gold.
Oh, you can't. Even if I drag it in, can you see him in the distance? Oh, there it is. He blends with the trees. He blends with the trees. I almost want to say on this perspective to watch Hani if he gets him. In the tree line, in the tree line, in the tree line. He walks past him. Wait, he's not TPing. He's not TPing.
Oh, he found a sleight of fist.
1 second. There's your jump in, and boom. Man fight. Man fight. Fight like a man. And successful.
Well,
he
found it. That sleight of fist. I don't know if he intended, if that was just him hitting neutrals, and that was just a happy accident, or if he knew to check that corner or not.
I think he had to know to check. It's an obvious TP point.
I don't know if it is that obvious. Why didn't you just run in to that spot?
Good point. Very good point.
You know.
Maybe one of his teammates just like, yo, dude, it's so obvious. And I was like, yo, I've got 5 million years of experience of playing Dota. Don't tell me what to do.
Well, early Roshan. Fnatic are going to go try and pick that one up. They don't have a medallion yet, so it's going to take a little bit longer.
The support coming in though, and this needs to happen quicker.
RoX KIS, this is an opening for them.
Yep. Then again, with Untouchable from Notal. Okay, Notal, keep your life up there, man. The sprites are already going, and now Hani turns into a fist. The shield is over on Luna, but that means also the shield has just been triggered.
Dire's middle tower.
And Hani may decide to go again. Quick jump in, just burns him down again. This is going to take a long time to finish off Roshan, especially when Fly is being hunted by Forge Spirits. Where is the Sunstrike? Where is the Sunstrike? Fly has like -10 armor. Where did that Sunstrike even hit? Oh, it's inside the pit. So, I'm just thinking, when you're hunting with Forge Spirits, wouldn't you technically look to kill the hero you're hunting?
Tower is under attack.
It's a high. It should be high level 1. Yes, 4 levels up in Exalt. That may be enough damage to kill off Fly.
Yeah, maybe he just really wanted to be able to keep tabs on how low Roshan is.
Well, I can keep tabs on him right now. I can tell you he's low.
Yeah,
and drop him quickly. And RoX KIS are in no position to contest this. Like, Sunstrike soaked up by 3 heroes. So they know what's happening again, but they're going to be too late to get there this time around. Should also point out too that Ero spent every single cent he had before this fight began. Before this pit, before they went in again. He's bought most of his BKB. He's short by about 1,000 gold now. Surprised too that he went for BKB straight off the cuff. To everything RoX KIS have, it's
Yeah, look at BZZ's build. This is very, very greedy. Not only do you pick up the Mask of Madness, the Hand of Midas, right, I'm fine with that. He was fine in lane. He didn't know this game was going to turn into what it has. Then the Mask of Madness, I view it as a desperation item, right? Unless you're ahead, it's a really good farming item. Back when Aoi was talking about how, you know, Yasha, if you're ever going to be any sort of agility carry, you should pick up Yasha because it's so strong.
Yell's dead.
All right, yo.
Poison used just to get the vision so Fly can follow up into the disruption. Yell's trying to fight from inside the tree line, but it's just at the end of the day, the 5th kill now for Hani, who's still got not a single death to his name.
But going back to this, it looks like BZZ is going for a Yasha before he goes BKB.
It's full greed.
Which you already have the Mask of Madness to be your farming item. You need a BKB to make sure you don't immediately die to these nukes in team fights.
Yeah, the only answer is full greed. That's the only real answer we're seeing right now. But if it pays off, maybe you'll be good. But if it doesn't, this kind of stuff can happen on top lane. You get initiated from range and you're already feeling like you've got to back up from the lane. And that's also full Battle Fury coming in for Hani. So 18 minutes in with drums and Ring of Aquila. And he still picks up the Battle Fury now.
Fnatic are about to get their 5 banning items. BKB is going to be up soon for the Kunkka.
Yep.
Battle Fury was just finished up by the Ember Spirit. So I think after that, they're pretty much ready. The only question is, where's the mech? Oh, there it is. Trixie's already got a mech plus another 1,600 gold.
Yep. Hani just having a little bit of a miss initiation. He chained before he fisted.
That's twice now I've seen him do that.
Maybe he's just not feeling the exact magic in the game just right,
and
right
now
now.
Just a random sleight of fist.
Yeah.
Misses everything.
Just whoops. But 4 heroes pushing in through the top lane.
He's too consumed by his love for Missy.
Obviously.
Can't think straight.
Yeah, he's going to put on his different game face as opposed to his current face, which is just disturbing. But Tier 2 tower's now going to go down, and Goldblank chained up, but he goes the shield off nice and quickly. Sunstrike's on the way in, and Hani, he just jumps into the fist. Look at Cenoi's life points. Down to 300 almost instantly. Now the Cold Snap's gone. Prophet still hasn't used his ultimate yet. And RoX KIS are almost going for a semi-trade. Look at the burn damage, and again jump in. The trigger off his ulti with that, and Hani still mops up the creep wave and the army of treants that were there. While Fly tries to defend up against Mass Serpent wards in the mid. He'll need a TP support if he wants to try and hold this. He's keeping the creep wave back at least, and trying to get rid of the Mass Serpent wards. Done a pretty damn good job of this.
Hell, they don't even care if it's denied. They just need any extra bit of gold. Oh.
I care if it's denied.
Look at the mass pings from BZZ. He was just mass pinging Fly. Hoping for, where's the Sunstrike? Solo, please. Land the Sunstrike, buddy. Oh, he's going to be off. He had so many different opportunities to try and kill Fly.
Probably the main reason for it. It's like we got Prophet ulti and we have Sunstrike for a support hero that's actually disrupted himself up. Like when that happens, it's a free hit.
Yeah.
It's a free hit. That's the old combination. The old combination was aggro tri-lanes with Invoker, Exort, Solo mid. So you go Disruption, Catcher, Exort, and then just one other stun controller.
Oh yeah, you combine the extra damage you're getting from Soul Catcher with already an overpowered nuke.
Yep.
Like Sunstrike.
Look at Hero Run. X, Torrent, and this time with the ship committed. As she flies right over the top of him. Have they got another stun? Have they got enough damage? No! The Iron Shell was burning through the Luna. But I suppose that's probably the good time when BZZ is happy his Mask of Madness didn't have the negative effect on him at that point.
So Orchid is going to be a big upgrade for RoX. They now have that silent over Ember Spirit, but Seedoy is still trying to finish that one up. BKB will inevitably be picked up by BZZ. But for now, he's just got Mask of Madness and Yasha. Now has that Ogre Club, so still a large way away from that BKB. I think Fnatic, they might actually be able to end the game before BKB is up.
I think even if the BKB is up, you'll have a Scythe of Vice over on the Darkseer, so it won't really matter. Seedoy is going to jump out to safety. Meanwhile, up on the top lane, we got BZZ trying to run, but the Purge will go, and all of a sudden, no buffs look great. He'll die up on the top lane to the Shadow Demon, and they'll deny up the top tower as well, so this is going to be at least another Tier 1 tower claimed by RoX, but that's looking at a silver lining right now. That's all that really is.
Yeah, they're just playing this like sort of suicidal push. Anything to direct Fnatic's attention away from 5-manning into RoX. RoX are pretty much just doing anything to force Fnatic to move around the map and address them. Otherwise, they're going to claim like these free towers, which is, again, something I talked about earlier with the Serpent Wards. It's what RoX needed to be doing earlier. Now, it gets to a point where you're practically suiciding when you're going for that Tier 1 tower push.
Yol, Iron Shell, and surging on down.
He's got a blink, though. If he could just...
he gets attacked. The Torrent was trying to block him off, but then No-Tail, Impetus 1, Impetus 2, lol! Okay, here's actually a question for you before Ross gets pushed in. If you throw an Impetus, and it flies to here, and then, oh wait, should we look at your bottom lane?
Yeah,
fly? Okay, he's going to go down. His attempted disruption, hands go up in the air. Okay, but yeah, let's do this example on bottom lane. So if you throw an Impetus from here, and it goes to your target that's here, if the target then gets X marks spot back to here, do you actually get the distance A as well as B added?
I would like to say yes, but I actually don't think that's how that works, especially you think about the way that Force Staff works with Enchantress, how you can Force Staff yourself away from the enemy in order to get that extra bit of damage. It might not work because of that. I'm actually not quite sure.
So you actually say it would do less damage if you took that kind of thing. Like, is the end distance between connection time, like the distance of Enchantress and connection time, is that it, or is it just a travel distance?
I don't believe it's actually the travel distance because
it's the end distance.
That is why the Force Staff works, but at the same time, I think that's how it should work. I don't know. Like when the Impetus flies a certain direction and it flies all the way back, you would think like, oh, it's building up damage.
Real trouble. Sunstrike's going to go on him, and they hold him there with the shackles. And that's a big streak to end. Some really good money for Yol, and they're really making the most of that Blink Dagger.
That is huge because this damage build from BZZ will force Fnatic, all of them, to come back and defend this. Otherwise, this Tier 2 tower is dead. I mean, when you have this maxed out Lunar Blessing and you have a Midas, Yasha, Mask of Madness, you are attacking so fast that this tower will die very, very quickly. And if they lose that, that means a BKB up for Luna, and they cannot afford to give that up. At the same time, they go for this team fight. They lose this team fight, they could lose the game as well. Like, this is such that one pickoff turns so much potential for RoX.
And
they throw down the wards, but they're still hovering around. The wards are now gone, though, so they have to back up. They just go right back to farming.
My mind is still on the mechanics, man. But
yeah,
Nahan's gave us the answer.
Tweet us. What was it?
Nahan's gave us the answer. It's actually the end distance.
Yeah.
It's the end distance. Prophet's going to TB bottom lane. No-Tail already healing himself up. He's just trying to attack on BZZ now. The back into a wall really starts to hurt. The Meg charge from Trixie kept that Enchantress alive a lot longer than was originally desired. Shackles, blink out, Yol. He only just had enough mana to do that. And now extra support him with Solo going for the Cold Snap. It's a double kill for BZZ. And that's basically just fed a full BKB to Luna. Fnatic, they had themselves a huge victory. But right now, they're throwing it away with these pickoffs. They're losing heroes.
Yeah, honestly, once this BKB is up, I would put RoX on even footing, despite the fact that Fnatic will still hold like an 8 or 7k gold lead.
Nah, they're going to try and fight it.
Oh, no.
There's no BKB. So, Ship, Torrent, everything they've got to shut down the Luna, but he bought the BKB before death. So, still at the end of the day, RoX will be happy with that. Yeah. Even though they lost the Luna for a minute and she can't farm for a minute, you still got her key item for the next fight.
And the reason that I would now class them being on even footing is because we now have this split push, which is up for RoX.
Well, because Seedoi actually does something now.
Yeah, Seedoi will actually be able to constantly put in that pressure. The Luna, like that's the power of that suicide pushes, is you force Fnatic to separate. They either have to 5-man in order to defend their tower, meaning you just delay the game longer and longer because they're constantly on their side of the map. Defending their tier 1 towers, or you force them to separate, and then you get that good pickoff, which is exactly what they found in the bottom lane.
At the same time, though, with Hani with the double Battle Fury, forcing Fnatic to separate isn't really that bad a thing, because they'll separate with one hero disappearing. So they don't need to send anybody else away. Like, Hani just goes up there, he'll force out the lane, then comes straight back to his Remnant. The only thing he kind of needs for that, though, is either having, like, his old-fashioned BTs, or just always having a TP scroll. Somewhere to go to and from base.
Right.
Well, they're looking at Roshan again too. So coming in with, again, I love this double Battle Fury build, but it's the fact that also Era, in combination with that, like has a BKB and a Crystallis. Like, the clearance potential of Fnatic is fantastic.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like, RoX, the only way I see them really still winning this game, even if Fnatic do lose key heroes out and Luna's getting bigger, the only way I see Fnatic losing this is if they have one of the most stupidest trades. Like
right.
That's going to be the only way they can do it. Or they have both the Kunkka and the Ember Spirit on the sidelines. So it has to be a fight that goes horribly, horribly wrong for them.
And that Aegis just killed so much potential, because I think RoX had an opportunity to finally get aggressive. Now that they had that BKB, they had the level 3 ultimate up for Luna as well. I don't think you want to push this any later, because once the Ember Spirit has a Daedalus, then Fnatic are huge.
Look at Hani run. Another Spirit in. He can go Fist Chain, miss the timing. Which means Seedoi is able to keep on running out of here, and Yol, he has a TP scroll, doesn't really want to use it just yet. Now Seedoi, he puts the Orchid on Hani, making sure there was another stun, but this time he's thinking about doing it on Goldblack again. Timing off a little bit for Hani. Something's not working quite right for him tonight.
Yeah. They still probably wouldn't have killed in a ban. Like, he Fnatic shields out of the chains, and he can also have his ultimate, so...
Yeah, it was fair enough. It's just one of those things where you miss two of them. Like, you could have forced them out a little bit longer. Yol's been a bit of a twit, running in through the top and then just blinking himself into the tree line. He's just trying to make Fnatic look behind him, and he's making Tracy at least waste a vacuum for 30 seconds on cooldown.
Yeah, man, the split push power. Furion, Shadow Shaman, they take it's just one hero that can take a tier 2 tower with ease. So Fnatic constantly kind of, force back on the back foot. There's that boots of travel that you wanted to see.
Yep.
So good pickup there from
He can just double his boots as well.
Yeah.
Like, he'll still have his highest movement speed, which come out from the boots of travel.
Yeah, there's no sense in taking away that extra 24 damage that you get from phase boots. So.
Yep. Enjoy the movement speed as well. Just jump in, jump out. Nothing wrong with it. He can sell them later on. But for now, he just leaves the Spirit behind. Jumps out. I don't know if he's just practicing his chaining on the creep wave. Get the timing right, man. Get back into the flow.
He is really scared. When he's left alone in this bottom lane, think about it. The Furion could be teleporting in to Orchid you up. You know you have a Scythe of Ice on solo, who also has a Force Staff, so he has that initiation to be like any sort of stuns like that, any sort of single target disables, just destroy an Ember Spirit. So while that you could see how potentially Fnatic have this amazing amount of damage where they just one-shot RoX and it looks like they're absolutely crushing. At the same time, RoX have this really, really good single target pickoff that if they get the initiation on Fnatic, they can actually win a team fight. It's going to be pretty uphill battle for them, but it's a possibility. It's something that Hani still has to be aware of.
Well, with gems out in the field right now from Fnatic, one over on SD, RoX is going blind on the map. They have one ward, which is actually possibly one of the coolest positions ever. A place which I don't think anyone will be able to de-ward out. While up on top lane, we've got Shadow Shaman just forcing TBs back. So this is going to be No-Tail arriving. Honey as well. And they're going to want to mop up as many of these Mass Serpent wards as possible. Actually, look at No-Tail. He's focusing down the wards. Okay, originally I thought he was doing it, so every single last hit went into Hani. So Hani could pick up something like his Crystallis.
Hani goes, he stops that push, immediately goes back to middle. This is the power of the mobility, like you were talking about, the clearance that they have between the Kunkka and Hani. They just quickly clear through a wave, stop the push, and then can go right back to
Here you go again.
to putting pressure.
With the Iron Shell as well, he's not getting as many last hits as he's really hoping for. He ends up just feeding the Darks here a little bit more than anything else. But he'll take out both waves and then jump back to mid. And Fnatic are looking to go high ground now. They're in a position where they've got all their major key items, so they want to head up into the high ground.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, Mask of Madness on No-Tail is a pretty big damage upgrade, honestly. But the data list finished up on Era. I don't think there are many other items. You can wait for the data list on Hani, and that's actually a huge upgrade of damage and potential.
They don't need to. They don't need to.
I agree.
Like, you could always just sell the face boots right now and pick up a Crystallis if you really, really wanted to. So there's no problem with that. And with the bottom lane trying to be pushed out, this becomes trade-off time. I guess not going to be a BT back moment because Hani, she's got his BTs up in 3 seconds, so he could do it if he wants to, but they've got to keep him here on the front line. So jumping in, they see quickly BZZ, and the Meg Charge is already going to be used. Try and protect Fnatic. So this is actually now a time when Hani should be considering just BTing the bottom lane, forcing it out and then returning to his team.
I don't know. I think Fnatic, they already gave up a tier 1 tower. They have to make this worth it. They have to take this tier 3. Otherwise, they just gave up a tier 1 tower for nothing.
But they're still trying to fight a 5v5 engagement underneath the tier 3 tower of their enemy. Now, Disruption and Catch, just Disruption will be used to make more of Hani. And wow, look at the damage to BZZ. Ember Spirit will jump in. The Darkseer wall's gone down. One more hit. Hani's going to lose his life here. But remember, it's still Aegis the Immortal. That's the only thing that's really lost. While Godblack, he was getting pounded down by just the illusions coming out from the Darkseer wall. Now, Luna's brought back, and Hero did pop off his BKB after this. But they've still got 2 heroes down in the buyback on Luna.
And the BKB's down for BZZ. That was a huge mistake by him to try and pop that BKB to keep himself alive. He needed to just go, okay, I'm dead. Let's save this BKB for the next fight.
Oh, nice back in. Disruption's going to be there. The timing not absolutely perfect, though, but they will still get that kill over on Solo. So Invoker will now also buy back into the game. They know this is do or die, and that's why Luna is trying to come in through the rear. Era spotted him. He's trying to get in range for the X marks the spot. Couldn't really reach him. Hani going for the attempted fist to chain. But they're actually wasting a lot of time trying to chase down this Luna. While they still haven't managed to find themselves a kill. Now, TPs are coming in from Abaddon towards the front lines. They look towards No-Tail. Prophet only bouncing around too. Now, beware the turn. Vac already. The Torrent, the ship. That's all going to hit right there on BZZ. He's down again. 90 seconds on the sideline. Now, Hani's running away while the Iron Shell for some reason remained where it was. But Impetus damage. Okay, Solo's getting really pounded by this. Goldblack's also trying to bring down No-Tail, but a jump up. More disruptions. There's their X mark spot. They bring down Solo. Goldblack, the shield will trigger out, as well as his ulti, which is a nice little thing for him to have. But now he's locked in a corner. The Iron Shell start doing their damage from Hani as well as Trixie, and this will be at least a mid-Rax. They just Prophet is attempting the split push through bottom lane, but Hani's now going to come in here to see if he can catch him out. Cedo is very low on life. Orchid's him up, so there's no potential follow-through as he TP's back to base, but it doesn't matter. Mid-Rax is gone.
Well, when you throw away basically 2 different fights that could have involved you having a BKB, popping your ultimate, and turning and fighting with the Mask of Madness, you threw away both of those chances. BZZ, I mean, he popped the BKB the first time he got picked off, and then the second time they pursued forward while the BKB was still on cooldown. That was just a terrible idea. He single-handedly, because, and now it's not just like BZZ, it was a great maneuver, like he was trying to draw Fnatic's attention away from the Rax, and he did that. That's just a mistake by Fnatic, but honestly, that's entirely on BZZ. The fact they tried to chase that without the BKB being up. They could have just saved Rax and let Cedo go for the split push. But now the game's over.
Yeah, this is GG. This is GG. They're losing too many people across the map. The top Rax is gone, and y'all will call it. BZZ's gone in for one last fight. But let's throw a wall up there and they turn them against each other. And that's going to be it for game number 1. Fnatic, they're looking very, very good right now. RoX, they go 0-2 as far as the grid goes, and Fnatic level themselves up at 2 apiece. Remember, if Fnatic win all 3 games, then RoX are basically eliminated from this competition. There's no way they can advance themselves through. No matter their results up against Team Empire, the only thing that will come out from their last 2 games tomorrow night will be if Team Empire can claim the bonus points going into the grand final. But for now, short break. We'll be back here. RoX versus Fnatic. Game number 2 will be coming up in just a couple of moments.